From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at Noon, streaming now.
And thanks for joining us here on the News at Noon. I'm Lauren Casey. Meteorologist Kyle Mounts is joining me in studio today with a check of our forecast. And Kyle, I'm thinking I've got to get outside, maybe go on a little walk this afternoon.
Yeah, it's going to be nice to get outside of the studio or maybe just outside of the house for a little while today. The sun is finally shining again here in central Indiana after a few cloudy days, and it's going to be sticking around here as we go through the afternoon. There you can see the satellite and radar. We had some of those clouds this morning, but a quick exit now, and we are going to just keep clear skies here going through the rest of the day. And those temperatures are starting to warm up as a result. We're already surpassing our high temperature from yesterday at 39, so we're almost already 10 degrees warmer than that. We sit at 47 downtown, already reaching 50 degrees in Bloomington, and you got 48 on the thermometer right now in the Lafayette area. A little bit of a west to southwest breeze out there, about 10 to 15 miles per hour. I think that will persist as we go through the afternoon. That's also helping to draw in some of that more mild air. Temperatures today will reach their way into the lower and middle 50s for that afternoon high. We're in the middle 40s with clear skies at 6 o'clock. We'll talk about how long the warmth will stick around in a few minutes.
All right, Kyle, thank you. New this midday, Indiana has now surpassed 6,200 deaths related to COVID-19 since the pandemic began. Today, the state health department reports another 98 deaths of Hoosiers with the virus. The state also is on the verge of surpassing 400,000 total infections. More than 5,800 new cases of the virus were reported today. Also, the number of COVID-19 patients in the state's hospitals is virtually unchanged from yesterday. So let's take a look at the new color-coded map. It shows the likelihood of community spread. We're working on that map right now. There has been a dramatic increase in the number of counties in the red category. That's the state's worst category to be in. It now includes 5 counties surrounding Indianapolis. So that's Hendricks, Morgan, Johnson, Hancock, and Shelby counties. That means each of those counties is reporting at least 200 weekly cases per 100,000 people and a positive test rate of at least 15%. The counties in the red can be subject to stricter regulations when it comes to mass gatherings of people, and you can see the map on your screen right now. The White House Coronavirus Task Force is also warning Indiana about the state of the outbreak here. The task force lists Indiana in the red zone for cases with the 5th highest COVID-19 infection rate in the country right now. Says, quote, despite the severity of this surge and threat to hospital systems, many state and local governments are not implementing the same mitigation policies that stem the tide of the summer surge. That must happen now, end quote. Governor Holcomb has faced some criticism for not reimposing limits on some businesses and other activities in our state, despite the higher number of cases and hospitalizations we're seeing. Holcomb and officials from the state health department will be able to talk to reporters at their weekly coronavirus news conference today. And you can watch that live at 2:30 here this afternoon on WRTV. We'll also have it for you at WRTV.com on our Facebook page. And it's also on your favorite streaming platforms like Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, and Apple TV. Well, the surge in new COVID-19 patients and deaths continues across the country today, but there's some new hope now that Pfizer's vaccine could be granted emergency use authorization before the end of this week. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
Coast to coast, more than 104,000 Americans are hospitalized with COVID-19, according to the COVID Tracking Project. And healthcare facilities are feeling the strain more so than ever this time around.
This wave is worse, just one after another, patients coming in, so sick.
The New York Times reports more than a third of Americans live in areas where hospitals are running critically short of ICU beds. Staffing is also a concern. Dr. Andrew Carroll had to fill surge shifts over the weekend at his Phoenix hospital.
The ICU is full. The teams are working as hard as they can. We're trying to get in as many specialized personnel from out of state to help us out. We're running on empty here.
State officials are buckling down with strict new orders to help stop the spread. California smashing its daily records for new cases and deaths, sending an emergency alert to millions, urging them to stay home, especially with numbers expected to rise even more post-Thanksgiving. Thursday, a big day in the race for a vaccine. An FDA advisory committee will meet to discuss whether Pfizer's vaccine should be given emergency use authorization. In its first analysis, the FDA says the vaccine appears 95% effective for all Americans older than 16, no matter race, ethnicity, or gender. It's already being administered in the UK, and officials are optimistic the same will happen here in the U.S., with Americans possibly getting vaccinated as early as this week.
Within 24 hours of that approval, we will begin moving the vaccines.
From there, states will begin distribution. Some, like Colorado, doing test runs with mock vials to test how to efficiently travel with those doses in ultra-cold freezers. Experts say the vaccine itself won't curb cases likely until spring of next year, so they're urging people to keep social distancing and wearing masks to help save lives. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Well, we are still waiting to hear whether Saturday's Old Oak and Bucket game between Purdue and IU will take place. Both the Boilermakers and the Hoosiers canceled practices on Tuesday. IU says it was due to an increase in COVID cases in the program. Purdue says it canceled practice to evaluate results of recent COVID-19 testing. Both schools say a decision on Saturday's game has not been made yet. And we're also waiting to see if the Big Ten will keep Indiana out of the conference championship game here in Indy. This weekend's game is set to go between Ohio State and Michigan, and it has been canceled because of COVID inside the Michigan program. Under Big Ten rules, that would leave Ohio State one game short of the minimum they need to play to qualify for the Big Ten title game. However, the conference issued a statement suggesting those rules could be changed. If the rules remain intact, Indiana would face Northwestern in the December 19th championship game right here at Lucas Oil Stadium. We'll keep you posted. And the rain that's in the forecast for this weekend has forced a downtown event to be postponed. The holiday market on the Circle, hosted by the Downtown Indy organization, will now be held this following Saturday, December 19th. The free event on Monument Circle will run from 3 until 7 p.m. Well, they've been staying open late, as bars typically do. Coming up, we'll tell you, though, why last call for one bar in Carmel may be much earlier. Coming up very soon. Kyle.
And we've got some changes in our forecast. You know, we're 9 days into the month of December, and each one of those has been dry. We've now got nearly a 1-inch deficit for the rainfall. Those changes, though, they come in time for the weekend. We'll detail some rain coming our way. You're watching WRTV News at Noon.
Welcome back. So you still have time to donate to the 20th annual WRTV Toy Drive. You can drop off new unwrapped toys at 17 new store locations around the area through Friday. You can also make a monetary donation right from your phone. You can also donate at the Indy Fuel home opener this Friday. Just go to WRTV.com/toy drive for more information. Thank you for your donations. Well, up in Hamilton County, it could be a big change for a bar in Carmel. The Goat typically stays open until about 3 a.m. each morning, but city officials say they will begin enforcing a rule for the location requiring the tavern to close at 2 p.m. every afternoon. The city says the previous owners of the property ran a breakfast and lunch cafe. A variance, including the time of operation, was issued for the business, and it remains in place. Representatives say this new enforcement comes after continued complaints from neighbors and businesses, but neighbors and business owners that we talked with are disappointed with the decision.
I didn't find it any problem whatsoever. And I'm actually kind of surprised that the hours got cut back so drastically. Maybe not be there as late as they were, but certainly not be closed by 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
The apartments next door and the condos next door, there have been some people complaining, but a lot of people I know that go to the Goat really like it and want to see it stayed open.
Well, city officials say the Goat was mistakenly allowed to operate with a closing time of 3 a.m. Now the owners of the bar will have to get an additional variance or a zoning change approved if they wish to stay open into the night. Well, the next few weeks we know are key for small businesses. Next, how one shop in Fountain Square is trying to stay alive through the pandemic and the holiday season. Here's a live look outside right now. A beautiful Wednesday across central Indiana with sunny skies and some warmer temperatures here in December. We'll check in with Kyle Mounts and get his full forecast for the week ahead. You're watching the news at noon right here on WRTV. Stay with us. Welcome back. The countdown to Christmas is on, and businesses here in central Indiana are counting on this holiday season to make up for losses brought on by the pandemic. Our own Cameron Riddle takes us to a Fountain Square business where the owner is asking you to spend money in the community.
As Christmas 2020 approaches, small business owners like Mike Angel are hoping customers make an effort to shop local.
It's always been important for people to shop local, but this year, obviously, with COVID-19, it's more important than ever.
Angel and his business partner, Patrick Birch, own Square Cat Vinyl, a record store, coffee shop, and event venue, along with a neighboring new flower shop slated to open this week. Angel says his Fountain Square businesses are just two of many hanging on by a thread, thanks to the pandemic.
COVID has dropped our sales at least 60% from this time last year.
The inside of Square Cat Vinyl has been off limits to customers since the start of the pandemic. That means no sales from coffee, no live events, and their record sales have been limited to online only, since customers usually have to get hands-on with their inventory while searching for the right records. The store's extensive music collection is now the main source of income.
Oh, we got a little bit of everything. We got rock and roll, hip hop, soul, funk, R&B, classical, hidden somewhere in there.
With Christmas less than a month away, Angel is hoping sales on the store's website will carry their business through winter, which, even without a pandemic, is the slow season for restaurants and retailers. His request is that you consider a local spot, whether you're holiday shopping online or in person.
Well, that would ensure that we stay alive a little bit longer at least. I think right now everyone is just, the game plan is to make it to spring. You know, obviously it's going to be warmer, more people are going to be outside, and hopefully we're closer to a vaccine and closer to consumer confidence being up.
Cameron Riddle, WRTV.
Cameron, thank you. All of Square Cat Vinyl's records are available for sale online at squarecatvinyl.com. You can also find a list of local stores that are great options for holiday gifts. That's at We're Open Indie section of WRTV.com. Well, it may be getting close to winter, but it's still surfing weather in parts of the country. Yesterday out in Santa Cruz, California, conditions were just right at the popular surfing spots, including Mavericks Beach. The National Weather Service had issued a high surf warning, but of course that just meant more surfers were hitting the water trying to catch a gnarly wave, some of them as high as 40 feet. Well, there you go, Kyle. We're not riding any waves here in central Indiana unless, I don't know, a heat wave a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. That's about the only one I can hang 10 on, though. Okay. You know, if I was out there on those waves, it'd be over. Yeah, but here's a look at that warm-up already underway. Temperatures across central Indiana are running about 10 degrees warmer than lunchtime yesterday, and that puts us at 47 downtown and Bloomington as we check out the sunny view there on the IU campus. You've got numbers in the upper 40s in Shelbyville and Muncie at 48. This afternoon, we'll see those numbers continuing to climb lower to middle 50s across the area. So these are numbers that are about 10 to 15 degrees warmer than we would expect here in early December. 52-year high today in Muncie, about 51 in Indy, and 54 in Bloomington and Columbus. Now, those skies will continue to be clear tonight, so it is going to be chilly. We'll drop down around 30, some areas into the upper 20s, like Peru and Richmond at 29 degrees to start off your Thursday. As we go through the forecast here into your Thursday, we are going to see a few more clouds that will stream back into the area, but I still think it will be a bright day for us, and temperatures that start off a little bit better as well. We'll be at 39 already at 9 a.m. We'll see those temperatures climbing to 50 degrees at noon tomorrow, and so we'll continue this warmth here, getting into the 50s as we head through your Thursday afternoon, and it's a stretch of several days here where we've got the 50-degree warmth. 54 on Thursday for the high, 55 on Friday, and it looks like even going into the weekend, we will have those high temperatures in the lower 50s and continuing above average. Now, things do start to change a little bit as we go into the weekend, so what we'll be taking away on Saturday is the return of some rain, and this is TrueCast. 8 o'clock on Friday evening, you already start to see some light rain showers moving into the northwestern portion of the state. As we go through the overnight and into our Saturday morning, more widespread rain, and yeah, there's some snow back here around Chicago, stretching back toward Kansas City. But I think we are going to stay on the warmer side of this system throughout, so I don't think we're going to see any wintry precipitation. That will stay off to the north and west, and it looks like the rain coming to an end here as we go into our Saturday night. So a pretty soggy Saturday for us. Right now, looks like ballpark about a half to maybe an inch of rainfall coming our way. Following that will be a cool down once again. Temperatures by Sunday are in the upper 30s. Looks like we'll hang there on Monday at 38 and 40 degrees, but we should be drying things out as we go into Tuesday. Check out that 7-day planning forecast now, and it looks pretty good here for December as we go through the first half of that forecast. We've got highs in the 50s, and even by Saturday morning, our low at just 45. But once the rain moves through, then it's back to where we should be for this time of year. Highs in the upper 30s to around 40 into early next week. Lauren.
All right, Kyle, thank you. While there's been some good news in the search for a coronavirus vaccine, there's also some worry among pregnant women. That's because they were not included in clinical trials, and now they're wondering if a vaccine will be safe for them and their unborn children. Amber Strong with our partners at Newsy takes a closer look.
It's been some journey for all of us. It's been an incredible success.
Operation Warp Speed helped develop COVID vaccines, but the trials left pregnant women out. None of the leading vaccine candidates included pregnant women in their clinical trials, which is actually pretty common but concerning, considering earlier studies that showed pregnant women with COVID-19 were more likely to end up in the ICU than non-pregnant women.
I never thought it would happen to me.
Jennifer Rodriguez was one of the lucky ones. Her case of COVID-19 during pregnancy was mild, but her story highlights fears of pregnant women or would-be moms, particularly those working on the front lines, where according to the U.S. Census, women make up 3/4 of all full-time healthcare workers. And data from the CDC shows 79% of healthcare workers who contracted COVID-19 were female. So should pregnant women on the front lines get the vaccine? In a statement to Newsy, the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists said there isn't a simple answer.
It is reasonable for them to have that serious conversation with their doctor about it, but it's not going to be something that there can be a blanket recommendation right now. It really has to be an individualized discussion about risks and benefits.
The vaccines from Pfizer and Moderna may be safer for pregnant women since they use mRNA and not a live virus like other vaccines. When asked by Newsy, Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar didn't offer clear advice.
I'm going to leave that to FDA and its advisory committee as they've been reviewing the data. I don't want to make any speculations there.
We reached out to both Pfizer and Moderna. Pfizer says they're taking all the steps to determine when and if clinical trials can begin. Moderna didn't reply. Amber Strong, Newsy.
Well, first she apparently invented a new way of eating toast. You remember that story? Well, now a celebrity chef is getting attention because she says something differently than the rest of us do. We'll have that story coming up next. Stick around. You're watching WRTV. So you may recall not too long ago, we highlighted a recipe from celebrity chef Nigella Lawson that was getting a lot of attention. It was her creation of the double buttered toast, and it caught fire online after she made it on her current BBC cooking show called Cook, Eat, Repeat. Well, now she's at it again, and this time it's for the way she pronounced something that just about all of us have in our kitchens and we use every day. It started with her making mashed potatoes, and that's when she dropped this bombshell.
Now, I'm aiming for quite a solid mash at this stage, but I still need a bit of milk, full fat, which I've warmed in the microwave.
The micro what? Naturally, social media started talking about her pronunciation of microwave. Some people wondered if that's how she always pronounced it. Not to worry, though. She responded to someone on Twitter saying, well, I do say it like that, but not because I think that's how it's actually pronounced.
Is that the fancy pronounce?
I know. I'm like, maybe that's how it's supposed to be pronounced.
Makes it sound fancier when you're fixing that evening dinner and you're just going to pop it in the microwave.
Microwave.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Temperatures this afternoon, not bad if you're going to be heading out there for a walk. We got a temperature already of 47 in Indy, 50 for you in Bloomington. And as we look at the afternoon, lots of sunshine out there to enjoy with temperatures that make their way into the lower half of the 50s. We'll be in the middle 50s Thursday and Friday, even the 50s into Saturday, but it does come with some wet weather. Dry the second half of the weekend there, Lauren, but it will be colder with a high of 39.
All right, Kyle, thank you. And thank you for joining us and making WRTV your choice for news. Come back here tonight for the news at 5. Get outside. Have a great Wednesday.